We've been driving Toyota's current Land Cruiser. The Land Cruiser is undoubtedly one of the most iconic 4x4s that's ever been made. It's been in production for nearly 70 years and has a reputation for unparalleled reliability and durability. The first incarnation of the Land Cruiser, called the Land Cruiser, was in 1954. Toyota had been making four-wheel drive vehicles before this under the instruction of the Japanese government, but they were essentially wartime American Willys Jeep copies. The Land Cruiser reeks of quality. For example, every single button, every dial, every switch feels over-engineered to the point where you just can't imagine anything ever breaking on it. This Land Cruiser, this Invincible, is the diesel, so it's a 2.8 litre 4-cylinder diesel engine. Puts out 175 horsepower, but 450 newton meters of torque, so plenty of torque. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's adequate, certainly. Performance is adequate. She's quite big, 4.8 meters long and 1.9, just under 1.9 meters wide. So it's pretty big, but you have a full suite of cameras around the vehicle. So when you're parking and maneuvering, you have park assist, so it tells you when you're close to anything, and the cameras, you can flick through different views, so you can see down the side how close you are to the curb, you can see front or rear. It's an excellent system. It weighs around 2,200 kilos and it's full 7-seater as well, which I really like. The rear two seats fold down flat, electrically fold down flat, and when they're down there's loads of luggage room. When they're up there's actually plenty of leg room as well. It's not bad at all. We've had a little play with it off-road, but realistically we didn't tax it. Ultimately it's a press vehicle, and if I break it, I'm probably going to have to pay for it, so I don't fancy that. Flick it into low range, raise the suspension, and just point it where you want to go, and it does mostly the rest for you. The electronics take care of a lot of it. We know that Toyota Land Cruisers are absolutely phenomenal off-road. History tells us this. But what's it like on-road? Well, I think it's absolutely superb. We have a double wishbone suspension set up at the front, and at the rear we have a 4-link setup on the rear axle. That suspension is nice and compliant. It doesn't bounce or pitch. It feels like a large luxury saloon. If you're in the market for a luxury SUV, what are your options? Well, this Land Cruiser Invincible model, which is top of the range, is $54,000, which I think is very good value for money. You could go for a BMW X5 as long as you didn't want to go off-road, and they start at $57,000. That's entry level for BMW. Or you could go Land Rover if you didn't want to drive it very often and you were happy to visit the dealer quite often. You could go Land Rover Discovery. They're only $47,000. Start at $47,000, sorry. The build quality, I've never been in a car that's so well built. It's incredible. I actually think that there's a fairly good chance that this vehicle, if it were mine, would probably outlast me and my children and probably my grandchildren. It's that well built. It's incredible.